Afternoon. My name is Trey Hunter with Palmetto Electric Cooperative. I'd like to welcome you to our 2020 annual business meeting live event. And it gives me great pleasure to introduce Palmetto Electric Cooperative's President and CEO, Burl Davis.
Thank you very much, Trey. Appreciate it. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here this afternoon. So now, ladies and gentlemen, friends, fellow members, at 5 p.m. today, I'd like to call Palmetto Electric Cooperative's 2020 annual meeting to order. On behalf of your board of directors, staff, and employees, we'd like to welcome you to the 2020 annual meeting. Due to the challenges that the COVID-19 pandemic has presented to us this year, we were unable to hold our annual meeting earlier on Saturday, May 2nd. Therefore, your virtual attendance at today's meeting is very much appreciated. Now, I would like to invite Pastor Mary Anderson of the Christ Lutheran Church on Hilton Head Island to give our invocation.
Good afternoon. It's good to be here. I invite us to pray together. God, creator of all that is, including each of us, bless us as we come together in this annual meeting to report on and do the business of this vital community service. We give thanks for 80 years of cooperation among our rural and resort communities that supports our lives and our living. In these difficult months of a global pandemic, we are all challenged to think and do business in new ways. As our ancestors in this work were visionaries in how to make life work better, continue to help this cooperative and this board conquer the challenges and take up the opportunities placed before us. In our time, in our season in this cooperative, give us wisdom, compassion, and creativity. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Anderson. Fellow members, now I'd like to introduce your board of directors. First, from Beaufort County, Mr. Henry Dreesen, Ms. Carolyn Grant, Mr. Bill Nimmer, Mr. Jimmy Rowe, Mr. David Solero, Mr. Alex Ulmer, who is Vice Chairman of the Board. The directors from Hampton County are Mr. Greg Cook, Mr. Nick Gohagen, and Mr. Terrell Smith. Finally, I'd like to introduce the directors from Jasper County, Dr. Earl Bostic, Ms. Eunice Spilliards, who is Secretary of the Board, and Mr. Jerry Vinay, who is Chairman of the Board. Join me in thanking them for their leadership and service. Before I invite Ms. Spilliards to come forward and present the Secretary's report, I'd like to explain how the online voting procedures will work today. We have 3 items to vote on. The first is Ms. Spilliards will need approval of the 2019 annual meeting minutes. The second item is Cooperative Attorney Danny Henderson will need to have the 4 board of directors up for election this year seated. The third item is meeting adjournment. We ask that all members that are viewing this meeting on Facebook Live to actively participating in the voting procedures. We want and need your participation as this is your meeting. When a motion is requested, please comment by typing your name and state, "I move" or "second." Please do not worry about someone else doing it before you. When you are asked to vote on the motion that has been seconded, please comment by typing your name and state yes if you are in favor of the motion or no if you are not in favor of the motion. So now I'd like to ask Ms. Spilliards to come forward to present the Secretary's report.
Good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to present the Secretary of Treasurer's report for Palmetto Electric for the year 2019. My first responsibility tonight is to report on whether or not we have a quorum, as required by our bylaws and the laws of South Carolina. Allow me to state the requirements for this meeting. We have 61,351 members on our rolls and must have 5% or 3,067 of that number registered. It has been reported to me that over 4,600 are presently registered, and I now declare a quorum. I have in hand a copy of the 2019 annual report containing the official notice of the annual meeting, which your bylaws require to be mailed to those members of record not less than 10 days or more than 25 days before the date of this meeting. I also have a copy of the U.S. Postal Service statement that says we did mail this report on September the 3rd, 2020. The bylaws also require that I mail at least 7 days prior to this meeting a statement of the number of directors to be elected and the names and addresses of the candidates. I have a copy of the U.S. Postal Service statement of mailing, which certifies that we did mail this statement on September 25th, 2020. It is also my duty to present last year's annual meeting minutes, and I can either read all 35 pages, or if you are agreeable, I'll entertain a motion from the floor to dispense with the reading that they may be accepted as written. Do I have a motion? Thank you. We now have a motion to approve the minutes as presented. Is there a second? Thank you. We now have a second to the motion. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say yes, or all opposed say no. Out. Our auditor, K. Eve McCoy, certified public accountant, has completed the audit for the year 2019. I'd like to read the accountant's report from that audit. We have audited the financial statements of Palmetto Electric Cooperative, which comprise the balance sheet as of December 31, 2019, and the related statement of operations, changes in members' equity, and cash flows for the year then ended, with the related notes to the financial statements. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for the audit opinion. In our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects the financial position of Palmetto Electric Cooperative as of December 31, 2019, and the results of its operations and cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with accounting principles generally accepted in the United States of America. Mr. President, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Speards. Now I'd like to ask Mr. Jerry Vinay, Chairman of the Board, to come forward and present his report.
Good afternoon, and welcome to our 2020 annual meeting. In the name of safety during the coronavirus pandemic, we are doing things different this year with live streaming our annual business meeting. We are very pleased you are joining us, and we look forward to being with you in person next year. As all of you are aware, this is an unprecedented time in our lives as we face one of the biggest health crises in modern times. It's quite fitting. The theme of this year's annual business meeting report is commitment to community. The theme, which resonates with outreach efforts of the past, as well as what we will do for our members going forward. We sponsor educational initiatives, health and wellness efforts, and support economic development. Beyond Palmetto Electric's coronavirus response, some other highlights of past year's outreach efforts included other high-profile community and safety enhancement projects. We are particularly pleased to report we are nearing completion of a 15-year project on Hilton Head Island, which saw the removal of over 3,000 utility poles and replaced with underground lines. With the conclusion of this long-term project, members will benefit from safer and more efficient weatherproof lines. It will also create beautification on one of South Carolina's coastal treasures. Our safety initiatives also extends to our annual sponsorship of safety days at sites in Ridgeland, Hampton, and Hilton Head Island. This helped over 250 children learn skills in the areas of electrical, fire, water beach, drug, bicycle, self-defense, and wildlife safety. Palmetto Electric's mission of service has always been at the forefront of everything we do. We are proud our members share our dedication to the health and welfare of our communities. Nowhere is the spirit of collaboration more evident than in our Operation Roundup program. In 1989, Palmetto Electric asked members to round up their electric bill to the next dollar to help fund charitable causes. We had no idea the enormous impact Operation Roundup would have on our communities. Over the past 30 years, Palmetto Electric Trust has contributed over $8 million in Operation Roundup grants in Beaufort, Jasper, and Hampton counties. The trust assisted individuals and organizations with food, shelter, clothing, health care, and educational needs. Operation Roundup continues to prove that a little change can make a big impact in our service areas and beyond. In fact, since Operation Roundup was founded, more than 327 electric cooperatives across the nation have adopted our program. As we celebrate 30 years of commitment to community, our annual report also highlights memorable recipients of Operation Roundup. It's been very rewarding to see the continued impact these organizations and individuals have had on the health and welfare of our service areas. One of those original recipients of Operation Roundup was Hampton Regional Medical Center for the construction of Hampton Heliport. Since its creation, Hampton Heliport has facilitated countless medical evacuations of patients to trauma centers around the region. 30 years after its creation, our original investment in Hampton Heliport continues to pay off for members of our community, both near and far, who rely on it for optimum medical care. Another early recipient of Operation Roundup was the establishment and installation of Jasper County's 911 emergency services system. Today, Jasper County 911 Communications Center receives and processes over 147,000 calls a year. This includes over 47,000 calls for police, fire, and EMS services. Beginning in 1991, Palmetto Electric helped provide startup funding for second helpings to purchase food from restaurants to help feed the needy. Continued financial contributions from Operation Roundup have helped Second Helpings purchase and maintain 2 refrigerated trucks, as well as providing produce and protein items to our area. In the past 30 years, Second Helpings has received 15 Operation Roundup grants totaling $175,000, a long-term commitment to fight hunger in the communities Palmetto Electric serves. The list of recipients reads like a who's who of people and organizations that define our community. I want to highlight one last person today, someone who was the recipient of an individual Operation Roundup gift, Miss Joyce Davis. In 2015, Miss Joyce applied to Operation Roundup to help fund repairs she needed in her mobile home. But when Martha McMillan, who represents Palmetto Electric Trust, paid a visit to Miss Joyce, it was determined her home was not only unsafe to live in, but it should be condemned. That's when Martha told her Operation Roundup funding could be used to purchase her replacement mobile home instead. According to Martha, Miss Joyce was so excited she jumped up and down right through the damaged floors in her old home. Miss Joyce felt so blessed for what Palmetto Electric and Operation Roundup did to help her. She said, when Palmetto Electric say they are going to do something for you, they are 100% dependable and always do exactly what they promise. Finally, as we look back on 3 decades of Operation Roundup and Palmetto Electric's long-term commitment to community, we want to thank all our members who have helped with their time, energy, and gifts so we can give back to the communities we call home. We look forward to continuing our successful collaboration along with our commitment to the community and every member we serve for years to come. Thank you, and I will now turn our meeting over to our President and CEO, Mr. Burl Davis.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I too want to welcome again all our members, owners, friends, and guests to Palmetto Electric's 2020 annual meeting. This year, 2020, has been a unique and challenging year for all of us, and our thoughts and prayers go out to all our friends, neighbors, and loved ones that have been impacted by the virus. We sincerely appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedules to share it with us today. Again this year, I'm honored and humbled to be able to stand before you as President and CEO of Palmetto Electric Cooperative. I sincerely appreciate the support and confidence the Board of Directors has given me to lead this organization. I want to thank the employees for their support, commitment, and dedication to provide elite-level service during the pandemic. Their hard work and dedication during these unprecedented times has been commendable. Palmetto Electric provides an essential service to the communities we serve, and our employees have responded by working through adverse conditions to continue to provide elite service. Also, I want to thank the employees for coordinating and implementing a plan so we could hold an annual meeting in 2020. This plan allows our members to register, vote on the business of the cooperative, live stream this meeting on the internet, and do it all in a manner that complies with local, state, and federal guidelines to keep our members and employees safe during the process. The electric cooperative model is different than the investor-owned model. The investor-owned utility model is a top-down approach that is driven by profits. They have a vertically integrated model where they build generation plants, transmission and distribution lines. They get a return on investment on the construction of assets. Therefore, the more assets they build, the more return they get and profits they make. The electric cooperative model is totally different. We were formed to be owned by, work for, and serve our members. Cooperatives were not formed to be driven by profits. It was about, first and foremost, working with our members and asking what can be done for our members. The central philosophy of people working together has helped more than 2 million people in South Carolina and more than 42 million people in rural America to experience the life-changing benefits of electricity. Co-ops were started by local people to make life better for them and the communities where they live. This culture is ingrained in you starting with your first day on the job here at Palmetto. If you would ask any employee or director at Palmetto, who do you work for? We would say you, our members. We are here to serve you, our members. In the future, businesses will need to be more collaborative and dynamic. There will need to be a trusted two-way relationship with customers. Timely interaction will be a requirement for success. I believe co-ops are better positioned for the future because it is a part of our DNA to cooperate or work with our members. With the changes in technology, the trend is shifting from the ownership of assets to access. Prime examples of this approach are Uber, Airbnb, and Amazon. Since co-ops are all about doing what is best for our members, it does not matter whether we own, lease, or share assets. An example of how Palmetto is already doing this is through our shared community solar program. The member can own a share of community solar at a lower cost on a per watt basis than install rooftop solar on your own home. Another example is our Smart Thermostat program, which was started in 2019. The member allows the cooperative to control their thermostat by lowering or raising the set point during peak energy usage periods, decreasing the demand for energy, which lowers the cooperative's cost. Members that choose to participate in the program can receive a free ecobee Smart Thermostat with free installation and up to $5 per month Smart Rewards bill credit. Another example is the cooperative's H2O water heater program. We have more than 38,000 members that participate in our water heater energy storage program. The program generates $4 million annually of savings to the cooperative. When you think about it, the H2O water heater program is no different than a battery storage program. As improvements in technology of batteries improve and price continues to drop, I believe battery storage programs will become effective in the future and generate savings just like the water heater program that the cooperative implemented more than 30 years ago. As you can see, the future is more about maximizing the use of all available assets that will provide the most efficient and sustainable result. I would argue that co-ops are positioned to leverage this shift from assets to access more effectively than any other electric utility. I am pleased to inform you the cooperative had another fiscally strong year in 2019. The cooperative continues to have a steady 2% growth rate in the connection of new meters. This is the third year in a row that we have had a 2% growth rate. Due to the continued good financial condition of the cooperative, we gave back $3.9 million in capital credits. The cooperative has given back to you, our members, a very impressive $24 million in capital credits in the past 6 years. Retired capital credits not only benefit you as a member of our cooperative, it also benefits our communities where we live by recirculating monies back into our local economy. In addition to the return of capital credits, your board authorized lower power rates for the months of November and December, which was a way to give back an additional $2.9 million to our members. This combined with our capital credit payback totaled $6.8 million we gave back to our members in 2019. All this has been accomplished with no rate increases and the cooperative maintaining sound financial metrics. Some other highlights of 2019 are Palmetto scored once again a 91 on the American Customer Satisfaction Survey. That is the second time in the past 3 years Palmetto has received a score of 91. With this score, Palmetto ranks in the 97th percentile of all touchstone energy cooperatives and in the top 2% of all businesses. Since safety is a core value of the cooperative and we focus so heavily on keeping our employees safe at work and home, I am proud to inform you that Palmetto won the Electric Cooperatives of South Carolina's 2019 President's Safety Contest. This is a major achievement by our employees and acknowledges our strong commitment to safety. Another significant accomplishment in 2019, Palmetto was selected as the 41st best places to work in South Carolina by the South Carolina Chamber of Commerce and South Carolina Biz Magazine. This validates that Palmetto has great employees that enjoy coming to work every day and has a great work environment. Now, a word and hopefully a final word about Santee Cooper, the state-owned utility that was a partner with South Carolina Electric and Gas in the failed V.C. Summer nuclear plant construction project north of Columbia. At the last 4 annual meetings, I shared with you the board and staff's deep concern about the troubled, now abandoned project. After Santee Cooper and SE&G decided to halt construction at the nuclear site in July of 2017, several class action lawsuits were filed against both SE&G and Santee Cooper. After years of legal battles and legislative debate on the future of Santee Cooper, on July 20th, a state circuit court judge approved a $520 million settlement to end all legal action alleging deceptive business practices against Santee Cooper. The agreement also requires Santee Cooper not to raise rates to electric cooperatives and to its direct serve retail customers for the next 4 years. In addition to the hundreds of millions of dollars savings over the next 4 years from the rate freeze, Palmetto customers will be receiving a rebate check or a bill credit for amounts less than $25 this year and again in 2022 as a result of the $520 million settlement agreement. Even though the lawsuits have been settled and co-op members will be getting rebates and wholesale power cost freezes for 4 years, the electric cooperatives will continue to lobby the South Carolina legislature for governance changes at Santee Cooper. This is a must to ensure that co-op members do not have to experience another financial failure like V.C. Summer, and that a state-owned asset is operated efficiently for the benefit of all citizens of South Carolina. I mentioned earlier that utilities need to shift from assets to access. I truly believe that this movement is the future. However, that does not mean that assets are not still required. This COVID-19 pandemic has clearly reinforced the necessity for broadband availability for all people, not just those that live in cities or urban areas. The pandemic has highlighted the need to be able to work remotely and attend school virtually online. The rural areas must not be left out, and it's our obligation to ensure our children that live in rural areas get the same education as those that live in more urban areas. Just like 80 years ago, when rural areas in the country were left behind without electricity, co-ops were formed to electrify rural America. I want to inform you today that Palmetto is pursuing grants to offset the cost of providing high-speed internet to all rural members. Not only will this allow our children to get a quality education and workers to remotely work from home, it will enhance and promote economic development in these areas. I want to thank you again for participating in the business of your cooperative and sincerely hope that you and your family stay safe, healthy during these uncertain times. We look forward to seeing you hopefully in person on Saturday, May 1st, 2021. And now, before I turn the meeting over to our attorney, I do want to say one thing, that our thoughts and prayers are going out to all the folks that have been impacted by Hurricane Delta in Louisiana. And that's 3 hurricanes that hit Louisiana and the panhandle of Florida over the last 3 years. I know this time 4 years ago we were experiencing Hurricane Matthew, and I just can't imagine going through 2 or 3 hurricanes in the same season. Also, I wanted to mention that Palmetto is going to be helping out a fellow cooperative in Louisiana, and we will be sending crews to assist them to restore power, and they will be leaving tomorrow morning. So again, we ask for everyone's thoughts and prayers to help keep all these workers safe and healthy while they try to restore power in the devastated areas of Louisiana. So now I'd like to, it's a pleasure to introduce Danny Henderson. He is attorney, cooperative attorney and partner with the firm of Peters, Murdoch, Parker, Elstroth, and Dietrich. Danny?
Thank you, Burl, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The next order of business of this annual meeting is the election of 4 members of your board of directors. As you know, each year 4 members of your board are up for re-election. The board members whose seats are vacant this year include Alex Ulmer of Beaufort County, position 3, Carolyn Grant, Beaufort County, position 6, Greg Cook, Hampton County, position 3, and Dr. Earl Bostic, Jasper County, position 3. These 4 current board members requested to be nominated for re-election to the nominating committee, and the nominating committee granted that request and placed those members' names in those members' names for re-election. There were no other requests to the nominating committee by members to be nominated to run for the board of directors. Neither were there any petition candidates for election to the board of directors. I will now entertain a motion and second that these 4 board members be elected by acclamation. We have now confirmed that the motion has been properly made and seconded. I will now call for a vote on the re-election of these 4 board members. Please register yes or no by electronic means. The motion is carried. I hereby declare these 4 members of the board of directors to be and hereby are re-elected by acclamation. The next order of business is for me to report to you on the 2 items that you voted on as you participated in this first drive-through annual meeting. As mandated by the 2019 General Assembly Act, we were required as a cooperative to ask the membership about voting member districts. Your board recommended that we retain the current 3 geographic districts we have, that being Allendale-Hampton County is 1 district, Jasper is a 2nd, and Beaufort is a 3rd. I report to you that as a result of the 3-day voting, 4,531 members voted to keep the current geographic districts, and 54 members voted negative. So that question has been answered, and the same geographic districts will be maintained by your cooperative. Additionally, in 2019, the legislature mandated certain bylaw amendments for all the cooperatives in South Carolina. Your board of directors took this opportunity to conduct a comprehensive review of our bylaws, and in doing so, we found that there was some antiquated language and duplication that was unneeded. So a thorough review was conducted, and you have been presented through Living in South Carolina and available on Palmetto's website, the amended bylaws that were put to you at this annual meeting for a vote. I announce that as a result of the 3-day drive-through meeting, that 4,474 members voted in favor of the new bylaw adoption and 44 members voted no. So the new bylaws are adopted, and for those of us who worked on that project, we thank you for your participation. Is there any other business to come before the 2020 annual meeting of Palmetto Electric Cooperative? Hearing none, I will now entertain a motion that this 2020 annual meeting of Palmetto Electric be adjourned. I have a confirmed motion and second on the motion for adjournment. The motion does not require debate. All in favor, please signify by voting yes or no. The ayes have it. I hereby declare the 2020 annual meeting of Palmetto Electric Cooperative adjourned.
Again, I'd like to thank all our members for joining us over the last 3 days as well as tonight. And it's a great honor for me to announce the winners of our prizes that have been randomly drawn from everyone who registered the last 3 days. The $100 Ace hardware gift card was won by Elphys Murdahl from Hampton. $100 Ace hardware gift card was won by Patricia Ann Sherman of Bluffton. A $100 Walmart gift card was won by Josephine Temperman from Hilton Head Island. A $100 Walmart gift card was won by Norma LaPrade from Bluffton. The air purifier was won by Michael Wallach from Bluffton. The Ego electric lawnmower was won by Larry Solomon from Bluffton. The Yeti hard cooler was won by Jerry Simmons from Early Branch. The Southern Steamers steamer cart was won by Elaine Fitzgerald of Hilton Head Island. The Breville Smart Oven Air Fryer was won by Peggy Deloach in Hampton. The 55-inch HDR Roku Smart TV was won by Jerome Wetzel from Yemassee. The iRobot Roomba was won by Donald Connolly from Bluffton. The Angler Kayak and Paddle was won by Denise Sanders from Bluffton. And everyone's name was re-entered into the drawing for the 2010 Ford Explorer Grand Prize, and the winner is Janie Bush from Ridgeland. I'd like to congratulate all our winners of the prizes, and we will be posting these on our Facebook, other social media, and our website. Again, I'd like to thank you all for watching our 2020 Palmetto Electric Annual Business Meeting.